Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is a message from Spirit, and I'm going to start with A Course in Miracles. I'm on lesson number 6. If you haven't been following, the previous videos start with lesson number 1, and then I do a tarot card reading and an oracle reading and get some messages from Spirit about the current energies and what is happening with you. And I seem to be speaking to the helpers and healers that have been neglected and are now realizing that they need to love and care for themselves and connect with Spirit and bring their gifts into the world. So if that's you, I'm talking to you. Lesson number 6, I am upset because I see something that is not there. The exercises with this idea are very similar to the preceding ones. Again, it is necessary to name both the form of upset, anger, fear, worry, depression, and so on, and the perceived source very specifically for any application of the idea. For example, I am angry at blank because I see something that is not there. I am worried about blank because I see something that is not there. Today's idea is useful for application to anything that seems to upset you and can profitably be used throughout the day for that purpose. However, the 3 or 4 practice periods which are required should be preceded by a minute or so of mind searching, as before, and the application of the idea to each upsetting thought uncovered in the search. Again, if you resist applying the idea to some upsetting thoughts more than to others, remind yourself of the 2 cautions stated in the previous lesson. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. And I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. Okay. That's good. You could see in that it's the past that really is upsetting us. If we stay in the present, anything is possible. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card from the Mary Magdalene Oracle by Megan Watterson. A card or two. We'll see what jumps out at us. Mary, what do you have to share with us that could be helpful in our journey from neglecting and abandoning ourselves, because that's what we were taught, to wholeness and healing? Ascension. That's good. I was thinking 1 card and that's what I got. So, farther up is further in. What does that card say to you? Okay, I'm just getting used to this deck and where everything is. It's not in alphabetical order and it's not numbered, so still learning to work it. Okay. It's such a wild and miraculous moment when we realize that the good, that is what Mary Magdalene refers to as God, has never been above or beyond or fully outside of us. Isn't that so cool how that aligned with the message from A Course in Miracles? It's such a wild and miraculous moment when we arrive at this truth that the great, big, unsayable love that is the good is actually right here within us, in this fleeting body, in this bramble of an ego. My German Shepherd is right outside the door. Like an indestructible rose perpetually at bloom in the center of who we are. It's such a wild and miraculous moment when we realize that farther up is actually further in. There's a legend that Mary Magdalene lived in a cave in the south of France on what is referred to now as Saint Baume, the holy mountain. It is said that she was lifted up 7 times a day from the cave to high above the cliffs of the holy mountain. Artistic depictions of this legend have Mary lifted up physically by at least 4 angels. One way I used to distance myself from Mary's humanity was to imagine that this happened for real, that Mary was actually lifted up into the air by a bevy of angels. It was such a wild and miraculous moment when I realized that these angels met Mary from within her own heart. And that the 7 times a day refers to the 7 powers of the ego. I don't know what those are. And the practice of recognizing and releasing them at least 7 times a day. For me, ascension happens by descending deeper into the truth of who we are. The angels lift us up when we forget that the good is not distant, above and beyond us, as if the good is way, way up there in heaven, too high for us to reach in these lowly human forms. The angels lift us up and remind us that the good has always been right here, within and among us. The good is what we are and what we do. The good exists on a vertical, not on a vertical, but on the horizontal. We are eye to eye with the angels, not below or beneath them. The good is what's present right here within. Yes, heaven too. Farther up is further in. Oh, so I actually was referring to the meditation that I did for today. Not the meditation that I did with you, but this is the one that I'm on currently, and because I do every day, I do a lesson from A Course in Miracles, but I'm starting at the beginning with you. But the lesson for today that I was doing is number 223 from A Course in Miracles. God is my life. I have no life but hers. I was mistaken when I thought I lived apart from God, a separate entity that moved in isolation, unattached and housed within a body. Now I know my life is God's. I have no other home, and I do not exist apart from her. She has no thoughts that are not part of me, and I have none but those which are of her. Our Mother, let us see the face of Christ instead of our mistakes. For we, who are your holy sons and daughters, are sinless. We would look upon our sinlessness, for guilt proclaims that we are not your sons and daughters, and we would not forget you longer. We are lonely here and long for heaven, where we are at home. Today we would return. Our name is yours, and we acknowledge that we are your sons and daughters. So that was the reading that I was referring to, because I did that one right before this. It's a separate video. The soul voice meditation, if you just breathe into your heart. What happens when I remember that the good is right here within me, or that God is right here within me and all around me? Actually, we're within God. In yoga, they teach you that there's 7 energy levels, or spiritual energy that surrounds us. I don't know how else to describe it. Energy fields. Okay. I'm also getting a lot of guidance about the new way of doing relationships, which is moving from codependence to co-creation. And in that model, we don't try to solve things in our heads, and we don't try to solve things by talking. It's more we put it out into the field between us, within our relationships. So whatever it is that's disturbing us and disturbing our peace, we put it out there to Spirit. And we can put it out there together in our relationship. So this is my new way of doing couples therapy also, because we're coming from a codependent model. And some of that codependent model is useful. I'm trying to figure that out now. And some of it needs to be just pushed away, and we're not using that anymore. So what I am finding is, yes, we need to acknowledge where we are right at the moment. And so I had a couple do this the other day. It's been an evolving model. So I had them say to each other, just first, this comes from my AVC's model, acknowledge, validate, care for. Acknowledge what you're seeing, feeling, hearing in each other, however you experience that. Validate it. And if you don't know how to validate it, get more information, be curious about it. And validating just means understand. I see you stressed. I understand why you're stressed. I see how much you're working. I see how hard you're working. I see how much we have to deal with here. And I don't know how to care for you. And this is the dilemma, right? I don't know how to care for you and not lose myself, and not care for myself and not neglect myself, because that's the reality right now. That's what we're dealing with. And the problem is that we're in a codependent model. So instead of caring for each other and supporting each other, which even that is a word that I'm not really happy with because it sounds heavy. We are thinking we need to help each other, which then we become burdens to each other, and we're carrying enough burdens. So that is not what we want to do. So we want to just acknowledge that, and we put it out into the field, and we see what comes back to us. So this is a new model of relationships that I'm working on, but it's coming slowly. And so this is where I am now. First, we need to acknowledge, then we need to validate, and then we need to express our own truth. I haven't added that one in because it's part of acknowledging. It's acknowledging where we are at. So I guess I'm incorporating the AVCs that we do for ourselves and the AVCs that we do for our partner. But I will let you know as this evolves further. That's what I have so far, because I am a couples therapist. But I have realized through my own divorce and my own process that the system that we're working in needs to change. It's a codependent model. Even therapists are a codependent model. We help people who need our help because they're somehow insufficient. That's bullshit. We are all whole, and we need to be empowered, and we need to see how we're whole. So I'm moving from a therapy model into a coaching model, which seems to me to embody more of what I believe. And I'm trying to keep what I can from therapy, because I think there's some really good things that we can keep from therapy. A lot of them have already been brought into coaching, but I'm on my own personal journey in that, and kind of uncovering that for myself. Okay, so I'm going to pull some cards from the archetype deck. First, I'm going to let my dog in because it's raining a little and she wants to come in. Hi, baby. Okay. All right. So these are the Carolyn Myss archetype cards, and this is what we're working with today. Do we want to do this? Do we want to get any of these cards? Okay, we do. So I have this interesting thing that happens, which is really cool. Is like I ask a question and my head will actually nod, and it will actually nod, or it will go like this. So that's my spirit, the way I communicate with my spirit. So, there's a lot of ways that I communicate with my spirit, but I think that's really funny when that happens. I think it's kind of cool. I don't always understand it, because sometimes it happens and I didn't even know I asked a question, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I ask? Okay, the trickster. Ooh, the trickster. This energy I feel a little fear about this energy. It's also devil energy, but it's something that I have found. It's one of my spirit guides. So I do power animal spirit guides too, and I have the coyote, which is the trickster. And the coyote energy is you do something over and over again, and you just keep doing it over and over again. So it's like kind of stupid and foolish. It's like fool energy, but you're learning from it, and you just keep challenging yourself, and you just keep testing yourself. So you're testing theories, you're testing hypotheses, and it's a lot of testing. Okay, so this trickster energy says the light attributes are transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Okay, so do you think of, I think of the coyote from what is that? The Roadrunner, which I hated that thing, but I hated that cartoon. but it is kind of like that. It's just being silly and different, okay? And the shadow attribute is manipulating others through duplicity. Okay, so that could be like two-facedness. But this is kind of acknowledging that we have different sides of ourselves, and different people bring out different sides of ourselves. And there are people that bring out our best sides, the people that we feel safe and loved with. And there are other people that bring out our worst sides. So that's what I'm getting from that, but we'll get more. We'll see what else is here and see what kind of story is developing here. What are we being told? And that another one just flew out. It's called the guide. The guide. Light attribute represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. The shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Okay. The guide represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. It's funny because I feel like I am being guided to create a new path, and instead of doing, I don't know, I'm still getting information about this. But instead of being a therapist or a coach, being a guide. I have been getting some nudges towards that, but I don't even know what that would be or look like because I'm still learning coaching, so I don't know. I don't know about that. But originally my name, so my name now on YouTube is True Spirit Warrior Goddess. And I was just playing with that because it just felt like I was going through a lot, and so I needed to tap into my warrior goddess. But the first thing that I noticed was that through the modalities that I use of internal family systems, emotionally focused couples therapy, and family constellations, I uncovered my spirit, my true spirit, and that has been a good guide for me in life through all of these crazy things. And I have a lot of, I've had a lot of fear. So it's really helped me break through my fears. And then I needed to tap into my warrior goddess. So that's how my name evolved. But before that, I was the love and marriage guide. And I'm kind of at a crossroads because I'm thinking I would like to work with therapists who are done with that codependent model, but also couples who are trying to break out of that codependent model. So maybe it's just that I want to move from codependency to co-creation, a new model that goes from codependency to co-creation. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And we just got the King. I think we're done with these because I don't want to get too many cards. Which is enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. And that's masculine energy. The shadow attributes are excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. Okay. All right, so we have the trickster, we have ascension. Farther up is further in. That's from Mary Magdalene. Then we have trickster energy, which is transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Then we have the guide, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. And then the king, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. I was also getting the, okay, let's do the Light Seers Tarot, which I have to go get because I put it over on the side. Maybe I'll do one of these first. Wisdom of the Oracle. What is this story that we are looking at in front of us? What is this story? What is it to you? Loyal heart. I think that's about being loyal to ourselves. So I'm particularly talking to women or people who identify with the feminine energy, because we are bringing this in. We're leading this charge. This is not going to come from the masculine. We're heavily masculine dominated. I don't need to tell you that. And we're bringing balance back to the system. So a while ago, I put a post on Facebook that just came out of me. It was something about the dragon, like taking down all the systems that were not working, taking down everything that wasn't truth. And it just came through me like I was feeling it. And that is what's happening. But I also didn't really know at that point that we have to be the leaders here. But we can be in our masculine energy as the leaders. But we are bringing forth feminine values and feminine ways of being. So we're balancing our masculine and feminine. And I'm doing the messages from the guides, and I got set your intention. And from what I'm hearing, this is a good time for setting your intentions, because we're moving into an energy where we're going to be supported on our journey and be given the people that we need to do this with. Set your intentions. You are living in a world of creation. Within your mind, you are able to manifest any situation that you want to experience, as long as you clearly know what you desire. Then you must purposely set your intention. By setting your intention, you are sending a conscious thought out to the universe that you want something specific to occur. The universe will give you exactly what your soul sends out. So the clarity and purity of your intention is essential. You then need to act as if your intention has manifested. The key to manifestation rests in your ability to hold the focus of your intention and not waver, because otherwise you will confuse the universal ordering. When you meditate and commune with your guides, you will often receive a vision of a life event that you will all agree would be worth experiencing. The spirit world will work on their end, but it is incumbent upon you to set the intention and then be open and receptive. Like real seeds, intentions cannot grow if you hold on to them. When you achieve clarity and are ready to let go, release them into the universe so that they can find fertile ground to grow. The more you use passion and emotional energy to put forth your desire, the more energy you are allowing the universe to use for the manifestation. The next step after releasing them is to let them go without any sense of attachment. Just remain centered in a restful awareness of receiving back to you what is for your highest growth. Okay, cool. I'm getting the story a little bit. I just want to get some of the Light Seers Tarot cards. Okay. All right. So I think it's saying to be your weird and wacky self. Get rid of the stuffiness, the stoicness, and let your spirit express. That's the trickster energy. It's a different side of yourself. That's why it says the shadow attribute, manipulating others through duplicity. So it's a different side of yourself. So you're not going to be all that comfortable with it yet. And it may feel like you're kind of not being authentic. But it's because this part of you is coming out and you don't know it yet. So allow yourself to play with it. That's the trickster energy. And the guide is your inner guide. Your spirit is guiding you to something, to expressing a part of yourself in the world. And the king energy is when we're actually taking charge and being leaders, leading in a certain area where you have expertise. So for me, I think it's just validating that this is what I'm doing. This is my path, which I'm excited about. I want to create a space where we can explore and have fun and do this. 7 of Swords. Oops. Okay. King of Cups. The Moon. And 6 of Pentacles. I've been getting that one a lot. That's balance. That's giving and receiving. And in Course in Miracles, giving and receiving are one. So it's like you're doing what fulfills you. You're so happy and you're doing this and you're receiving at the same time. So it just flows. Everything flows together and it's being, and it's so easy. And this is what I keep hearing is going to happen as we level up, as we ascend. So you are on this ascension journey, and this is where we're at on the ascension journey. You're learning to be your spirit. You're learning to express your spirit in the world. That's the trickster energy. And then you're divinely connected and guided. You have to maintain that connection because that's really what it is, which we started out at the beginning in. And then the king is enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. So you are a leader. You're leading your own, and you do that by being loyal to your heart and setting your intentions. What is it that you want to create? You're co-creating with spirit. Okay, what is the 7 of Swords? What does that say to you? What is coming to me is stealing away in the night. And that crow is announcing that you're stealing away in the night. I don't know, what are you getting from it? By the light of the moon. I'm not getting it yet. The King of Cups. He's grounded in his emotions. The moon is the unknown. We're headed towards the unknown. And a place of ease and abundance. Okay, I want to get more on the 7 of Swords. Okay, so we're only taking what's needed. That's what I talked about at the beginning, like taking what I need from therapy, taking what I need from being a couples therapist, and that old model of codependence, but there's some really good stuff from emotionally focused couples therapy that I got, which is like connecting with your emotions and learning how to care for your emotions. It helps you connect with your spirit and be able to express yourself better. So there's some really good stuff in emotionally focused couples therapy that I'm going to take with me. And there's some really good stuff I'm going to take from being a therapist, my depth, my ability to connect with other people and have compassion for other people. And compassion for myself. So what I was realizing this morning was I'm through with that tough stuff now. I held a lot of sadness, grief, fear, anxiety, loneliness from other people. And I didn't realize that that was also my own. So I was carrying other people's, but I also had a lot of my own. And I've been facing my own. Because if I can hold it for everybody else and carry it for everybody else and help them, then I can do it for myself. So I'm working through my own grief and sadness and fear and anxiety and loneliness. I'm working through it. And as I work through it, I let go of everybody else's and I empower them to be able to care for theirs. And it's releasing this heavy, heavy, heavy burden. And I feel it in all this achiness in my body. I feel so much achiness and I've been carrying this, but I'm letting go. And then I only need to hold mine and heal mine and deal with mine. And I can teach other people and guide other people to care for theirs. So I'm letting go of this burden. The affirmation for this one, the Seven of Swords, is, I act from a place of love and morality, and the universe witnesses my honest intentions. So the other thing that I have found, and I said in my last video, is that, and I've heard this about empaths too, we have the same wounds as a narcissist, and we're actually not any better, I'm sorry to tell you. Maybe our way of dealing with it is, I don't think it's better, it's more vampire-ish. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't think it's better. I am acknowledging that I'm an empath, but probably I was a narcissist in the past. And I have a little bit of both. We all probably do, whether you want to admit that or not. But I was healing others so that I could get from them love that I never got, attention that I never got. And I can admit that now because I'm moving past it and out of it. But that, and I could see it now. I'm healthy enough to be able to see that that's what I was doing. And I'm not going to do that anymore because I know how to take care of my own emotional needs. So I don't need to do that anymore. And as I take care of my emotional needs and I realize my wholeness, I draw other whole people towards me. And that is a whole new model of being in relationship that I'm uncovering. And I'm going to share my journey with you. And then I will get clearer about how I need to label my videos because right now I don't think it's that clear. Maybe it is moving from codependence to co-creation. Maybe that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Yay! Okay. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to leave you there. So we're taking what we... No, I want to just bring the story together. We're taking what we need from the past and we're bringing it into the future. And we're grounding it in our emotions and our emotional self-care. And this is masculine energy. So we're bringing it forth. We're doing this. We're taking this. We are expressing this. And we don't know what's coming. We're learning. We have to be willing to say we don't know. Because if we are not willing to say we don't know, then we're holding on to other stuff we don't need. And we are giving and receiving are becoming one. Okay, so we want to set our intentions. We want to be loyal to our heart And we want to set our intentions of what we're looking to create. Because we're co-creating, so we're not doing it all ourselves. We're working with spirit to co-create and bring it out into the world. And this is a new way of being. It's a balance between the masculine and the feminine. And we are ascending up as we ascend in. Okay, so that is what I have for you today. Go forth in love and peace, and know that you are one with spirit, and keep communicating with spirit and listening. Amen. The light in me sees the light in you, and let's express that out into the world. As my dog sighed.